So now we'll be entering a question and answer session. The session will be divided into two, 3 questions per session. Question may be asked in English or jika lebih mudah bisa ditanyakan dalam bahasa Indonesia juga. So may we have the first 3 questions? One gentleman in front, Mbak Heni and Mbak Maya. Please state your name as well as your institution.
Yes, my name is Mahindra from Joint Operating Body Pertamina Petrosina Salawati. We work in Salawati Island. It is in West Papua. Regarding your finding of the research, I think it really very strong relation with our experience, in which the nature-dependent community always have a specific behavior, and let's say in our local community, which is the culture is hunting and gathering society. Surely the definitions of cooperation is very different. We try to conduct program for them, community development, and it looks that the entry point is not the male, because the male is the one who should find the animals in the forest. But we are more successful in conducting the change through the women, because the women are the one who stay in homes and they should taking care of children and the elders. So based on our experience, the cooperation is something that there are 3 conditions. Number 1, it is something that people should learn. Number 2, they also should share some context and also share some responsibilities. And number 3, there should be an institution that encourages the cooperations. Without this, it's very difficult to have the cooperations. That's our settings. Number 1. Number 2 is that when we discuss about the cooperation among the community that's still having these hunters and gatherers, the cooperation is not something that they always show. It is something that it is not a norm actually. It is more a contract, a social contract. Because when they do have problems in the forest, then the family will be taken care by other families. So, and because every families, the male will go to the forest and will facing some risk. So it is a kind of a social contract that any families facing problems, then they will be taken care by other families with males in the family. So I think the finding of your research is not so very specific. It's common in the nature dependent communities. So the question is, how can the government use the finding? It's very clear that the cooperation is something that people should learn, but we also have a very bad experience in the village cooperative. In the New Order regime, the government pushed very much to develop these village cooperatives, but it failed. Why? Because the cooperative then perceived merely as the legal institutions, but not the institution itself. So we put very strong emphasis on the legal aspects, but do not give enough resources to develop the institutions. So I think it should be a reminder for the future government intervention programs. Now that already started is the village fund, Dana Tezza. In the design, the government also introduced the village meetings, but without institutionalize these meetings, it also will be useless. Thank you.
We will have the 3 questions prior to you answering. Is that fine? Okay, can we have Henny?
Thank you. Very interesting presentation and very interesting research. My name is Henny. I'm from SMERU. I have 2 questions. First, relate to the customary institution for Napitupulu. Are there 2 customary institutions? I mean, you mentioned low exposure community and high exposure communities. Are they separated institutions or not at all?
What do you mean by
like masyarakat?
Yeah,
Puna,
no,
something like
the
that.
representative is just one, and it's mostly in the resettlement.
Mostly in the resettlement. Yeah. So that's not in the low exposure.
No,
community.
they're less coordinated in terms of politics.
Okay. So in the respect, what is the situation of leadership within that customary institution? I think that maybe explaining somehow when you explain that the customary institution actually locate in the high exposure communities, there is possibility that low extraction in the community relate to the functioning of that institution. I think that is one of my points. The second one relates to the methodology. So when you do game theory here, at the beginning, did you explain to the communities that this is like the experiment, things like that, and how do you prevent them to like change their behavior? Considering, for example, if we realize that we are in a game, some of us will be very serious, just doing that as business as usual. But some of us probably think, this is just a game, I just make it as fun things, rather than that is like reflection of actual behavior of that individuals. So, are there any methods or tools or strategies you did to mitigate that had to happen? I think that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayam.
Hello, Ibu Tezza. My name is Mayam from SMERU. Actually, my question is a bit similar with Baheni. So I'm interested in how you do the experiment. Did you do the pre-test before the experiment? Because how did you differentiate between they who are really show their true preference or confusion, or because we look at the graphs in the high exposure subject in the second round. Could you explain what happens? Because they tend to increase the extract and then decrease again. Thank you.
tadi ya.
Riza.
Riza, oh Mbak Riza. Mungkin mengomentari, just ask me again the questions if I didn't get it right. But one would be your target as female. Yeah, it would basically it worked better when it was female.
Well, we changed the subject of interventions. After 4 years, we try to do the interventions through the males and fail.
Okay.
And then when we change the subject to young female, and the fact is that there's more success.
Okay.
We can transform the culture of hunting and gathering, becoming the agriculture. And it is through the women, not the men.
Can I ask what specifically was the project? What corporation were you asking for?
Well, it is the community development projects.
About the community, yeah, general community development projects. So, so maybe one response would be the idea of this study was not to assess or evaluate the Gundama itself or the way the money was flowing. I just wanted to know what happened with the behavior. Maybe a bit of an anecdote was when I arrived, even prior before arriving in the upstream, people were telling me, hang on to your watch, hang on to all your valuables because the Punan is really uncultured, nggak berbudaya. And of course it was such a surprise, yeah, what does this look like? And when you came up, and it was basically the government in the Malinau Center was afraid of this demand sharing. And once you live with them, you basically learn how to go around it. Cara membaginya, jangan kasih langsung 1 kilo gula, tapi bagi-bagi apa namanya dalam kertas gitu, bagi-bagi gulanya. But yeah, and that also what strikes me the most, like berbudaya bagaimana, while the literature I was reading, the ethnographic side, the anthropological side of the Punan, kalau Bapak Ibu punya waktu bisa cari juga di YouTube tentang Punan tapi di sisi Malaysia. Itu mereka environmental heroes basically. They keep the non-existent Malaysian side forest into still existence now. It's because of the Punan, so nggak berbudaya bagaimana gitu ya. So it's basically there was this mainstream view on what the development patrons need to look like, but what realistically is the development subjects or patrons, if we want to say that. So komentar ke Pak Riza. Unfortunately, I didn't find that sex is a indicator. I would really love to find women being something, but I didn't. And in your perspective of they were hunted and gatherers, so the literature is saying that it might be the time to go beyond replicating development from best practice to studying context, replicating it within the context. So sepertinya kita mesti mulai bergerak daripada contoh-contoh good practices, good practices mesti begini, good practices mesti begini, but rather understand the context, karena terus terang sudah pasti ya apa yang berhasil di Jawa itu belum tentu berhasil di apa namanya pulau-pulau lainnya. Apakah itu social contract atau ya saya juga nggak bisa definisikan ini social contract itu norms karena ya seperti dibilang sama ekonomis Binmore, kadang-kadang malah kalau udah if it's naturally practice the norms, kita nggak nyadar kalau ada sebenarnya yang apa namanya yang meregulate cara kita berinteraksi. Jadi tadi konteksnya susahnya juga from the literature that I read that norms are dynamic. It can change with the very spoken government intervention, but it can also change just by tren anak muda masa kini, apa yang mereka tonton, ada atau tidaknya layar tancap di neighborhoodnya. Nah, saya ingat zaman-zaman saya masih kecil masih ada layar tancap dangdutan di komunitas kita. Sekarang nggak ada, ya semuanya sudah jadi semen, semuanya udah jadi mendekati toko-toko, mall dan sebagainya. Jadi kalau if we see social capital as an asset, norm can drive collective behavior. Ya ruang-ruang seperti itu harus dibuka kembali, ruang-ruang publiknya, ruang-ruang interaksi, supaya kita bisa juga kembali mempelajari norma-norma yang mendukung collective action. Saya kalau udah seperti begini udah kayak advokat ngomongnya. How can the government use? Dengan penelitian saya, how can the government use? Satu sih, one that I see is issue atau trend atau our interest for community-based development, decentralization, participation. That's not going to go away. People want this. People want to say something. People want more power to the many. Udah nggak zamannya lagi power to the one, power to the many. So if this is not going to go away, the government, ya seperti yang saya tadi bilang, in the case of India, bagaimana in his study he was saying intimate government. Our government needs to adapt to from a patron-client type of being into an intimate government. So bagaimana, how the government is going to use this? In our case, they have to tweak what are they banking on. If they are banking on simply the effectiveness of building a house, I don't think they need to maybe bank on cooperation. But if they're banking on cooperative behavior, participation, more empowerment, then that's beyond house building activity. That's beyond 1 miliar per desa. In the case of my research study, I think maybe this is just a bureaucratic matter. Satgasnya udah ada sebenarnya, tapi ya the satgas or the staff that what do you call it, initiated to every, they're supposed to liaison all each village. They don't have the capacity, they don't have this creative mind on bagaimana ya mengayomi bapak ibu ini dengan 1 miliarnya. Jadi one is the government to tweak what is it that they want to focus on. Is it the participation, or is just simply building a house? And the next is if they already done that, they already set their mind into participation or cooperation, then maybe it's another story. The human resources need to be there. Monetary evaluation and monitoring is still relevant in any case of any kind of policies. Yeah. Jadi one side is still the administrative process that's left behind, and okay. I'll go Pak Riza. Kalau ada, if there's more, we can talk more. Untuk Mbak Heni sama Mbak Mayam ya. I have leadership one. Mbak Heni, cerita the anthropological side of the Bunan is also they are hunter-gatherer group, so it's they're egalitarian. People can just people have their own autonomy basically. They can just go, because the anthropological side was saying that they were also nomadic. So if they don't like their crowd, they just leave to another ground. Yeah. So that was the background. Yeah, but now they're resettled and they have to adapt. They can't move anymore. If they don't like their neighbor, they can't go like the old days, just nomadic like it. Now they have their house. So I agree. I don't know where it was. I agree that they have to learn a set of norms also in integrating with the state program and the national society methodology. How can I say that it's basically, I don't know, I think this is a combination of Mayam and Baheni. How can I say that that is a social preference and not just a confusion? In the modeling side of it, I also did a test of only the educated, and it was saying the same thing. At the beginning, I would say I was confused also, but now, because it can be, the result can be explained by other studies. It has a literature base. So, of course, I don't know, maybe there was people who was confused, but yeah, I can trust this result. It's because, yeah, I did the robustness test, but also it is a reflection on what other studies was saying. Yeah, I guess, I don't know if I'm missing out any. Atau ada yang nggak selesai pertanyaannya? Oh, okay, yeah. The spike, I think the spike would be the introduction of punishment. Remember that I told you in reflection to, there needs to be a cost for you to put some money into the common pot. So that was in round 2. There was a spike of people, keeping business as usual, while they only have 3 tokens left. Karena dari setelah round kedua ada punishment effect kalau mereka tidak menyisakan uang 10 token di dalam common pot, itu jatahnya dikurangi. Jadi in relative terms, this is an average extraction, so in relative terms it becomes like a spike.
Any more questions? Mas Duma and Pak Asep. Pak Asep first.
Thank you guys for very interesting and important research. I have one comment and one question. On the comment, although you start from Ostrom, who emphasize on social arrangement, it seems that your finding is more confirming on Coase theorem, yeah, about the danger of tragedy of common, because people are tending to be more extractive than we think. Yeah? And I agree with Parida that your findings have important implication in explaining why so many government programs have failed. Yeah? I'm thinking especially in terms of programs like microcredit or revolving funds, yeah? Because people actually want more for themselves, extracting from the program rather than thinking about the sustainability of the program. I wonder about your comment on this. On the question, can we go one slide into the first regulations? Yeah, we see that the sex there is one for male. Yeah, the occupation is not significant, but the signs are negative. Implying that women have more tendency to be more extractive, yeah. Yeah, and here it's significant. So indeed, women are more extractive than men. Yeah. I'm wondering what's the reason behind this. Maybe because in the end, ultimately, it's women who are responsible for providing all the household needs on the table. Yeah, even though men supposed to earn them, yeah, but in the end, it's women's responsibility to feed for the families. Is that the reason or something else? Thank you.
Halo Mbak Tezza. My name is Gema from SMERU. And I think, I don't know if it is a question or not, but I try to add more stories maybe from my experience of doing research in this kind of area as well. Because in the past I did a research on social capital in two villages in Karawang and Subang. Both are selected because they both have industrial areas, and the villages that we selected are located relatively close to the industrial areas, but the one in Karawang is more kind of like urbanized area of village, but in Subang it's more nggak terlalu urban, tapi it's more rural than the Karawang one. But then in terms of social capital, in the perspective of moral norms, value, or traditions, we were surprised because Subang, the village that we selected to be the case in Subang is the social capital condition was so limited because we found that not in terms of traditions, but customary events are still a lot happening in Subang, more than Karawang. But in terms of value or norm, we found that there are a lot of girl or daughter of the peasants living there are working as a massager or pijat plus, and they are not working in Subang, but rather they are working in big cities like Bandung or Jakarta. And this was found, this fact was found because we see a lot more fancy houses di Karawang. Rumah mewah itu nggak kita temukan, tapi mereka punya pendapatan yang lebih tinggi karena mereka, because they have alternative source of gaji dari kawasan industri. Tapi di Subang mereka lebih memilih untuk mempekerjakan anak-anaknya itu di sektor-sektor informal sectors, seperti pijat tadi misalnya, atau jadi pedagang biasa aja di kota lain. Cerita ini, the story I think, and your finding I think is also confirming that being more rural is not doesn't mean that they have quote unquote better good value. They hold on tightly until now. I mean, they are trying. We cannot deny that they are having this perspective, maybe to gain more revenue, not revenue, pendapatan, source of income from more alternative source that is not really good in terms of value or norms. I mean, this story is kind of like confirming each other, and they like to talk behind each other. I think it can be seen as sebagai tradisi bahwa mungkin memperhatikan satu sama lain, tapi di sisi lain mereka membicarakan hal buruk-buruk yang kita tidak minta satu wawancara, tapi mereka membicarakan hal-hal sangat buruk dari tetangganya masing-masing di desa yang ada di Subang seperti itu. Nah, the one that is still I'm curious till now is this research maybe can be an insight for us to design community-based or empowerment program or something like microfinancing, like Pak Asep said. But what do you think is the more realistic or visible recommendation, policy recommendation regarding of this situation to the government? Thank you.
Is there any more questions on the floor? Yeah. Yeah.
My name is Lydia from Fakultas Ekonomi UI. I just wanted to know a little bit about the players or the participants in the games themselves. Can you just tell us a little bit, perhaps the average number of schooling, how they are recruited? I mean, how are they asked, or they are individually recruited, or they know each other and they're recruiting amongst themselves, and some of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia. And there was one more hand. Yeah, let's do that.
Hello, Vanessa. My name is Joseph. Just a quick question. How much is the highest? I mean, who's the biggest winner? And how much token he had, and what is the lowest token in this game? Like the most unfortunate one.
I don't remember, but I remember that extractive behavior, like until fall, 20%, it's like 70%, very high.
Oh, is it everyone get like 25 or 25 tokens? Or
Altogether?
One individual, like what's the high? Do you know how much like one?
I don't remember, but extractive behavior, like the self-benefiting, it's like 70% of them were playing each round high.
Oh, but you don't know how much. Like?
The one that's you're interested in this cluster of people that's cooperating.
I mean, you're expecting everyone, like if they are social optimum, they got 20, right?
No, I think altogether is 20.
They altogether get each person get 20, but
how many is this 20? I think maybe 78%.
Sorry?
It's 78%, very high.
78%?
Yes.
Means just in token, like who, like the biggest winner, I mean,
The payoff.
You know, the payoff, the highest payoffs.
The highest payoff is 20. 20 tokens times 60 ribu rupiah, like a day wage. A day wage, yeah.
I'll talk to you later, maybe. Never mind. I mean, you're extracting 5 then, right? I maybe interpret this
one round you're extracting 5.
Yeah, and then second round I win.
And the second round you could win, but it depends how much other people.
And then other people get say 0, and then I win.
Yeah.
And then in the end of the game I got maybe 25 or more. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
That is exactly what my question.
I don't remember.
Okay, that's my one. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true because they have jackpots. So it can't be 20 tokens.
Yeah. I just want to know the range of the
range
lowest
of
payoff and the highest
lowest
payoff in the
payoff.
game. So in my mind, if there's a super evil guy who take always 5 every game, he will end up with 15 plus 20. And then he's lucky and evil guy, then he end up with 35.
Yeah. Surprisingly, there was one guy I remember that he got a lot. And then I interviewed him, and then he was saying like, I just keep taking a bit and a bit because I don't want people to think I'm corrupt. But he was taking a lot.
I mean, in the end of the game, the other 3 guys knows how much this guy.
They know how much the other's payoff is, but they don't know with whom they are playing.
Okay.
Yeah. But of course it was in a village of 20 participants, like, but this is the Punan is very, I don't think they hold grudge at each other, but they were talking about the highest pays, they were talking about people with high pays all through the week, like, how can that person win? Yeah, they wanted to know. But I don't remember. But what I do remember is the one that's all rounds being self-interested or self-benefit, egoistic, rational is very high also. Yeah.
So a lot of people get more than 20 tokens?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. So answering questions. One second. So, yes.
Basically,
the start of the game, I wanted to find something like Ostrom. At the end of the game, I didn't find cooperative as Ostrom. What was one? Yes, there's a body of research that's already studied the success of Ostrom. Ostrom made the framework on small population, high cohesiveness. I don't know, maybe a comment to me was still to take ourselves out of best practices and study context. Still, So, what was the case? In the case of the Punan, forest was still abundant. I couldn't study common pool resources out of forest because it was abundant. There's no traffic there. There's no competition. There's no conflict. So I decided to make government money as commons. But of course, in this case, like I said, it's different with a common pool game. In a common pool or a resource extractive game, you take a bit. But there is something left over in the nature that the fish can multiply itself, the forest can multiply itself. But in the case of a government money, what's left over, in this case, is it goes to one person. They work together to build a house, but the house would be for a private benefit. So it's So it's not actually a common pool study, resource study. Women accepted, there was, I guess, a lot of interesting results there, so I just chose, but The next one. I can't say anything about the women, but I actually would lend an argument towards the male, because only the male or more average of the male has the salary. So, and in my sample, 70% was upstream villagers. So I think that the male was still providers in their case. So they don't extract as much or being egotistical, because what their part in an upstream community is that they provide. If you go hunting, if the male goes hunting, he will come back, he has to share to the rest of the village. I was living in the Pakades's house also, and this is what I see, that other villages will just come to Pakades's house, take his shampoo, and go bathing. Or if the Bukades gak ada, come in, take bawang, take garam, and just go. So yeah, like hunting meat, it was public property. That's also in upstream. Pakades's salary was, yeah. So that was, I think, this is more a response of the male in the upstream. This negative extraction. That is lending a hand to the sample being 70% of the upstream. So to comment more on the ibu-ibu, I don't have a lot of background to, although of course I see studies. Gema atau Gema? Gema. I read something that this is also, we often say culture, budaya atau adat, but with two types of definition. One is this moral value that you're talking about, a supreme kind of moral value. I made this comment to a friend recently. She posted on Facebook anak kecil naik sepeda motor, and this kids these days, they don't have any budaya, not like the old days. And I was telling her, which one do you mean? One budaya or adat or culture can be the supreme moral, but one could be like in the context of the punan that demand, it might seem that nggak berbudaya ketika when they demand share, but it's actually part of their cohesiveness. That's how they sustain their life. Orang Punan has been living in the forest of Kalimantan since forever and ever. That's how they maintain their the group's fitness. That till now they're still there. So to comment on you, that it can't be said that the more rural or less populated is of culture. This was also the reason why I couldn't do my study in Java, because it's so complex. In your case of Karawang and Subang, that can be, I would say, look into the economic indicators in Subang. And I don't know, maybe the spread of the gap of inequality is very high. What would be also the opportunities of livelihood there? Maybe Karawang has more opportunities, and So to comment on you, community-based programs, what would be the policy recommendations? I think for myself, community-based programs would be my next life also. I would, community participation. That would be the keywords to whatever next project I'm into. And I don't know, policy recommendations, like I said, if you're working in a government policy, right, we need to pay attention. We need to tweak what we want to tweak. If the idea is participation, then we need to look into it. But if it's just efficiency, house building, then we don't need to talk about all the participation. But I guess most of the problems these days are, this is what we want. The more participation, more empowerment, this is what we want, while whatever the government is doing nowadays seems to fail in doing that. It just rise maybe efficiency, but not necessarily. No documentation has been saying that it does raise better participations or the such. So, true, context-wise, I don't know. We need to think about it in our next research project. Talking more. Okay, talking more about the players. What can I say in this? When we did the research and we wanted to look with the difference between the behavior and upstream and downstream, our initial hypothesis was saying that there's more capital, social capital within the upstreams, where in the resettlement you're already involved in the market, etc. You lose that. So we took into account the real life that you do know who your neighbor is, and in the upstream that's a real condition that you were playing with your neighbors. So it's not as anonymized as games is normally done. Economic games is normally done very sterile, lab situation. This is, although they don't know with whom they play, but you are still playing within your community. So how did we, how was the process? And the population was small, so it's basically was playing with the population. In the most upstream, the population was 50, male and female, and I think we got 30 participants. So we were really playing for all the populations to play. So randomness in this case, we didn't really take into account to this. Let's say, what else? Like I said, 50-50 between male and female. What's interesting is also about 50-50 educated or has been schooled and not, which is also representing this community. So this uneducated, a lot of them were uneducated, playing with the uneducated was also a bit of a consciousness, like, oh, how do we do? So, I don't know, as maybe complex as I seem to explain it, we really try to make it simple, the game. And when I was playing, there was one assistant who was doing the survey outside, collecting the pre-experiment data. But there was 3 of us in the room. So we get to go around and also talk to the ibu-ibu, mostly the ibu-ibu when they ask questions. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you. As we have reached the end of the question and answer session. So I'd just like to briefly summarize what the discussion was about. We touched on the approach and methodology used in the study, and we also were discussing a bit about how government should tweak their approach if they want their community-based approach to be more sustainable. Okay, thank you, Ms. Tezza, for your time. And